Hi, Merel. Thank you very much for your time. The first question I'd like to answer is why did you choose the dramaturg career, in particular related to dance?
Because I love it. Maybe that's the most important reason. But I think also because the role of dramaturge is really closely related for me to who I am as a person. So this role of being the outside eye, of questioning a lot, and of getting the freedom to observe, I think are things that I used to do already in my life a lot, and that, I don't know, somehow relates to how I walk through life. Then when I found out that you could actually make that into a job, like turn that into a job, I was very excited. I was also scared, but I was also very excited, so I decided to go for that. But I have to say that it was Slagers pointing it out to me, that you have a certain knowledge about the field. So I studied theater studies, so you have the theoretical knowledge, and she was the one who said that you also have the talent to interact with people, and these personal qualities that you have, and they go really well together, and actually this is exactly what a dramaturge does. So then I felt also why, in the sense that I felt something completed, like two parts of myself, a theoretical wish to learn and to develop my thinking, let's say, and a wish to be involved in the studio and to relate to people was somehow brought together, and therefore I chose to go for it.
So how was your experience here in Bassano as a teacher during the Choreographic Research Week for this edition of Bimotion Dance Festival?
Yeah, it was wonderful. It was really nice. I had a very inspiring time. The group was really active. So I also tried to think of a form of teaching in which I wasn't just speaking, but in which there was really a dialogue generated within the group, placing myself a little bit outside of it, observing and trying to stimulate them, mainly actually, to come to their own insights, and I think that worked really well. And it was also very inspiring for me to hear all the thoughts and questions that are alive within the group, within these artists, and to be able to talk to them about it, and not only in the class actually, it's the festival, so you're around in the city, you meet each other in other places, and it's just really lovely to see that develop, basically.
So, and so you see some differences in the participants between the beginning and the end of this experience?
I would say yes. And the main point then is that I see a higher self-awareness as to how they communicate about their own work, but also how they respond to work of others. And I think that we've been discussing that a lot, as to how do you talk about the work that you've seen without validating it immediately, for example, something that happens really quickly in all of us, I think. But then how can you be more nuanced and more also supportive in the way you give feedback, for example? Also, how do your own personal patterns of communication and response sort of inform you on who you want to be as an outside eye or as a person giving feedback? Because, of course, that role is not necessarily only for the dramaturge. I mean, you are in that position sometimes as an artist as well, or artists supporting artists. So that is the main point. I think they've developed really well, like looking at themselves, like what are my first ways of responding to something, and how can I be more nuanced in that? Yeah.
And which are the sides of your work do you prefer? As a teacher and also as a dramaturg?
Yeah.
In this case.
Yeah, exactly. And I also write, so there's like many sort of different elements. It's a hard choice, but I would say I like to be in the studio. To be really close to the work, in a way that is where also I get my inspiration. I'm not a creator. I'm definitely not a creator, but being allowed to watch very closely how something is created is very magical, and I think it's the thing that inspires me most. To do all these other things around, it keeps me going. Yeah.
Yeah. So for your work, you work in a strong and direct connection with the artists, which is or are the best advice you should give or you want to give to them?
Yeah, we talked about that this morning in the group. And then I said that there are many young artists that have the wish or the need to do something new. They want to be, they want to evoke response, they want to be new. But what is this word new, and when is something relevant? And I said that, don't get lost in trying to create your own illusion in a way, but really stay very close to who you are and be very consistent in staying true to your own fascinations, but also staying true to who you are as a person, because I think these two things will inform you most and will always lead to an end product or to a result that has a character, that has a very specific character, and then can thus have an influence or an impact on the people witnessing that.
Thank you very much, and good luck.
Yes, thank you.